Good morning, Mooresville. I'm your host, Xander Marine.
And I'm your co-host, Will Comer, and you're watching
More News. On December 8th, the theater arts classes performed the Christmas play. There is a new podcast that includes interviews with cast members from both performances, a member of the crew, and the director, Mrs. Casson. The podcast is available on the Mooresville Pioneer TV YouTube channel.
You may have noticed that the glass hallway seems a little bit more holly jolly than usual. That's all due to the Best Buddies Christmas Tree Contest. We asked Miss Bell a couple of questions about it.
So Best Buddies is raising money constantly to purchase supplies for students in the special education department. Currently, these specific funds are going towards adult bicycles and tricycles so that students in our program could have more opportunity during PE and hopefully learn that basic skill. So everybody's tree needs to be fully decorated by this Friday, December 10th. After that, the trees will be up through the month of December. So the following week, December, I think it's 13th through 17th, we'll take votes on Skyward. People will log in and vote for their favorite tree, and the winners will be announced the week of finals. It's December 20th through 22nd, I believe.
Now a word from our sports host, Alex Johnson.
I'm your sports host, Alex Johnson. The boys basketball team has hired a new coach. This leaves many people questioning how the season will go. Now an interview with Coach Boss to talk about his future for the team.
With your previous experience coaching at Richmond and other schools, what have you learned that you hope to apply moving forward in this program?
Well, I think, one of the things that I want to bring here is, an attitude of success. With the success that I had at Fort Wayne North and then moving on to Richmond and starting to get Richmond going in the right direction, I want our kids to start to have a sense of understanding of what the goals are and what we want to try to accomplish. So for me, it's developing that winning mentality. And having our kids understand what it takes to win, putting in the time, energy, and effort, being dedicated to the craft, and understanding that, a lot of our success is going to be predicated on what we do in the off season, not just during the season. So we're trying to establish a culture, and, that culture is going to be about winning and the things that it takes to win in order for us to be, or things we got to do in order to win to be successful.
Coming into coaching a new team, what are your goals moving forward?
We want to, our word for this year is maximize. We want to maximize our talent. We want to maximize our abilities and our potential. We want to make sure that we leave this year fully accomplished with what our expectations are and what we can become, because we don't want to shortchange ourselves. So our whole focus this year is to maximize what we are and who we can be, and that's going to always be what we want to do. We never want to come up short in terms of what our talent and potential is.
Looking at what you've seen from this team already, what do you foresee the team accomplishing by the end of the season?
Well, so far, I like what I see. We're growing, and we're not nowhere near a finished product. The players are starting to learn a little bit more about myself, my philosophy, and how I do things, and I'm learning a little bit more about them. So, I don't think it's out of the realm for us to go ahead and compete and try to win a sectional championship this year. That's going to be the goal. It's always going to be the goal to make sure that we have postseason success. But like I told our guys, we always want to be shooting for something. So it starts with trying to win the Lebanon tournament that we're in this year, winning the conference, and then having some postseason success. So I think all goals are obtainable. All three are obtainable, but it's a matter of us continuing to put our best foot forward in order to achieve those things.
What do you see as your biggest challenge this year?
I think, the biggest challenge for us is, new coach, new philosophy, new style. It's how quickly do we adjust to that? How quickly do we adjust to having a style of play change that is much different than what they've done in the past, and putting guys in positions where they may not have been in the past, and making sure that they're comfortable in those roles. We have a lot of new kids playing this year. We don't have a lot of varsity experience that's returned. So for us, that's the thing that we got to make sure that we're focused on throughout the season.
Looking at what you've seen from the team so far, who are the players that we should look out for?
Well, if you look at us, I think Zach Woodson stands out, just a returning varsity starter, a 3-year varsity player. He's a guy that we're going to have to lean on heavily because he's been in the trenches before. Some of our other guys haven't quite been there. But you look at a kid like Nick Patterson. Nick, coming out of football is a proven winner, playing the most important position arguably in football to playing the most important position in basketball. So, we lean on him heavily. I look at another kid like Hogan Denny, who is a true competitor, and his competitive spirit is what we need, to help us, achieve what we want to achieve. But we complement those guys and their responsibilities with great and solid role players. I'm very impressed so far with what Wesley Reeves has done for us. He's been tremendous for us in terms of his energy and what he's given us. So as we move along, I look for those guys to continue to progress. But we need those other guys to step up. We're going to achieve what we want to achieve. It's not about just what those guys do, but what the other guys do as well.
Who would you say your wild card player is that most people overlook?
It's an interesting question because some of those guys, could be that guy. I think, Denny at the beginning of the year would have been that wild card guy. But now that he's played well, people have kind of recognized who he is. But I think in order for us to kind of achieve what we need, we need guys that can make shots. I think, an Ashton Holzclaw is a young man that if he makes his outside shot, then all of a sudden, we're a much different team. If once AJ Defer is a freshman, once he starts to get his feet wet a little bit more at the varsity level, he's another young man that can contribute. So I look for those guys to continue to progress and grow, as the season goes on, and guys that we may not be talking about right now, but hopefully guys that we're talking about towards the end of January going into February.
What is one skill you see your team lacking, and how do you hope to improve upon that?
I think that we have to be a much better rebounding team. I think we have to do a better job of limiting teams to one shot. We've got to do a much better job of being physical. I think that, at times we lack that physicality that's necessary for us to be successful. We have guys that have good size and good frames, but at the same time they don't have a willingness to be mentally tough enough to be physically tough. And once we start to utilize our bodies and our strengths to our advantage, then I think that that weakness can become a strength. But it's a mental approach, and our kids got to kind of develop that mental approach to not being as soft as we are.
What skill does this team excel at?
I think that the biggest thing that's helped us is our team chemistry. They're a group that gets along real well. They have faith in one another. They support one another. They are dedicated. They come in, they work hard, they do the things that they're coached to do and asked to do. So I think that's our biggest asset. Is that our guys like each other, get along, and are willing to play together. Because oftentimes as a coach, that's something that you can't necessarily control. So we're blessed in the regards that they're willing to do that.
All right.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Instagram and Facebook to support Pioneer TV.
That's all for more news this week. I was your co-host, Will Comer.
And I was your host, Xander Marine. Be sure to tune in for our next More News.